So, after a long wait, Donkey Kong Bonanza is finally here. And if you want my thoughts, honestly, it's an amazing game. I'm really enjoying it. It feels like the next big step for Donkey Kong, and the game I've been waiting for on the Nintendo Switch 2. An actual reason to own the console. Mario Kart World is great, but this is the first major release, in my opinion. And if you're waiting for a new 3D Mario, this will definitely tide you over till then. Regardless of how much I love the game, a common complaint persists. The game suffers from some frame rate issues. Every so often, the game drops to 40, even 30 frames per second. And I can understand why. I mean, there is a lot going on. But even so, the Switch 2 just released only a month ago, and it's already showing its age. Now look, I know all Nintendo consoles after the GameCube have been underpowered, but there was always this understanding that even while the console would be underpowered, the console would also be more affordable than the other options. A budget option for someone to get into gaming. This was true for both the Wii and the original Switch. I, however, cannot say the same for the Wii U or the Switch 2 now. Similar to the Switch 2, the Wii U launched with two SKUs, a basic model and a deluxe model. The deluxe model even came bundled with a game and was only $50 more. The thing was with the Wii U, however, it released right when the other consoles, being the PS3 and the Xbox 360, were almost out the door. The Wii U even got a lot of third-party support at launch. It was supposed to be a hardcore console, but the 360 and the PS3 were much more affordable. You could get a 360 for like $200 or less in some cases, and the PS3 was starting at $250. All of the third-party games even performed better on these other consoles. The gamepad not only increased the price, but was also a hit to performance. Some of Nintendo's games even suffered. Notably, Wind Waker HD had frame rate issues, where the GameCube did not. I'd still say it's probably the better way to play the game, but just keep in mind that there's frame drops every now and then. Now, there's a lot of parallels you can already draw between the Wii U and the Switch 2. I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be a failure just like the Wii U, mainly because people actually know what it is. But I do think the Switch 2 is showing that it's overpriced. The Wii U was overpriced. Even when the deluxe model got a price cut to $300, it was still overpriced for what it was. But Nintendo thought they could charge more because of their audience. They thought they were marketing to a hardcore audience. And ultimately, no one really bought in. And with the Switch 2 being a pro Switch, basically, it's a very similar story. It seems like people are actually buying it, even with the high price, but I feel like it's underpowered. I feel like for what it is, it should be $350 or only $400. People are already complaining about the screen quality, and it also seems like Nintendo cheaped out in power, something that they misled us on in the reveal. It also feels like they make these games for the current console, knowing that there's problems, and then re-release it on the next and say, that's how you're supposed to play the game. This is how it's meant to be played. People were just complaining a couple months ago about all the performance issues with the Switch 1. Almost every game, even first-party games, suffered from frame rate issues. And I'm not super sensitive to that. Like, ideally, I want all my games at 60 frames per second or higher if given the option. But it is a little bit annoying that they're charging $450 or even $500 if you want Mario Kart. And we're already seeing the console struggle with Donkey Kong Bonanza. It really feels like we're beta testers for these games. And even if they're a lot of fun, you have to wait till the next console to play the finished product. Zelda Breath of the Wild launched with the Nintendo Switch, even though it was a Wii U game, and you had to wait till the Switch 2 for it to run at 60 frames per second, 4K, or I guess 1440p. It really doesn't make a difference to me. I made a video the other day asking where are the games for the Nintendo Switch 2, but it really feels like all the games we're going to get are Switch 1 games. We are going to get Switch 2 games like exclusives, but we're beta testers for those. The only finished product is going to be the Switch 1 games. If you want the finished product, wait till the Switch 3, or whatever Nintendo ends up calling the next console. By the way, if you're interested in that video, I'll put a link in the description. The Switch 2 is basically a PS4, and I guess the Switch 3 will basically be a PS5, you know, for $600 or $700. It's just annoying. Weirdly enough, I was at GameStop today, waiting for Donkey Kong Bonanza. The store didn't open till noon, and I got there like 5 minutes before they opened. There was someone outside, so we started talking. He mentioned he got a Switch 2 from Target's distribution center for only $20. I'm pretty inclined to think this is a scam, but he basically was saying that he filled out some survey and Target offered him a Switch 2 for only $20. He said he hasn't got the console yet, so I guess we'll see. If I ever see him again, I'll have to ask him. I didn't see anything else about this online in my own research, so I'm pretty sure it's a scam. Be careful of that. Some people are just heartless and want your information. He claims that Nintendo was overstocked on the consoles because some people that were unhappy with the console returned it. I don't know if I've ever seen that much transparency from Nintendo. I don't think they would tell you that their console is not doing well. I hope for his sake it's real though. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you think the Switch 2 is fairly priced? Are you like me and starting to think that the console is overpriced? Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for checking out the video, and if you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. It would really help out. See you guys next time. Bye.